Hey, how are you? Up next, County Edition, we're going to talk to a representative from SacSewer, have an interesting conversation about the services they provide, and then we're going to celebrate some high schoolers. So stay with us. Hi, I'm Donna Giroux. Welcome to County Edition. It's a new monthly show that we're going to examine complex issues that affect our county neighborhoods. And hopefully we'll do it in an informative and educational way. And today I have a lovely group of people. There's Paige Bettigrew, right? You're the Public Information Manager over at the Sacramento Area Sewer District.
That's right.
Which we affectionately call SacSewer.
Yes.
Is that okay if we call
Absolutely,
it
that's
SacSewer?
preferred, yeah.
And with us today also is Brad Clark, who is a very experienced animation and media teacher at Franklin High School, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then we have a colleague of Brad's. It's Brooke Beckett, and you're the media, is it animation also, or media teacher?
I teach engineering and technology at Galt High School.
Engineering and technology. But also you slip in video production as well.
It's part of our technology
right?
pathway.
For Galt High School. So the Warriors and the Wildcats.
That's right.
I got my mascots. I don't know. Do you guys have a mascot?
We don't have a mascot. No.
Fatty Oils.
We do have some characters, yes.
That's great. That's great. So the reason why this group of people is here is because we've been very lucky. We've been awarded a 3-year grant. This is our second go-round, so we're in year 7 of a grant from SacSewer. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure.
And so this is a Confluence educational grant, so I'd like you to tell us all about that.
Yeah, so we offer a distinctive grant program utilizing non-rate, non-fee revenues to fund community programs that really expand the Sacramento's region's economic, educational, and environmental vitality. And so this is one of the 6 categories, public education, that funds those different projects and programs.
Can you go back to non-rate, okay, so obviously there's some political aspect to that. So you get funding, but this is funding that is not from our bills.
Revenue sources, that's
right?
correct, yeah.
And so this is a way that you use, I don't know where you get that funding from. Is that state funded?
It's just other revenue sources that we have from within our organization, yeah.
Very cool. And so you use that and you grant many organizations or many individuals in the educational domain?
Yes, so within the public education category, Access Sacramento is a great partnership, but we have others. We fund different projects and programs that really just further drive home SacSewer's mission and vision, but also expand the knowledge and understanding about the watershed and the sewer system and the impact it really can have on the environment and just our overall region. In addition to career awareness and these projects and programs are in, you name it, anything and everything. We have high school PSA contests. We fund Sierra Nevada Journeys, Hands in the River unit, which is a really great program to teach the children. We have a lot of other different opportunities to fund video projects to educate the community about important topics like E. coli and what's really being done to study that and the outcome of what happens in the river with it. And so it's really just creating awareness in different ways to engage with our communities.
And as a public information manager, do you have your hands in all of those various programs?
I specifically oversee the public education category, so all of the projects I just named I do.
So if you create videos for all these little things, we'd love to air them.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, they're very,
Okay.
very, it's always an opportunity for myself to learn as well. So sometimes it's topics that I'm not necessarily privy to or familiar with, but through the process of being able to partner with them, you get to see behind the scenes what they're really looking to convey, and the target audiences that they have all vary, and again, the topics. So it's a really great opportunity for me as well.
So each year you determine the topics that you want the kids in high school who are in media classes to possibly submit in this competition. So can you tell me about the different topics?
Yeah, so specifically for the high school PSA contest, what we're really looking to do is find categories that are important messages for our customers to understand, but also impact behavior change going forward. So we call them becoming our future sewer stewards, and really looking to make sure that that change is happening at home. So students being able to take those key messages, taking them home to their parents or other relatives, helps not only them understand the importance of what we're trying to convey, but also their families, and making that kind of a ripple effect per se to be able to continue out to their other members or even larger to the community. And so the topics vary. We often have issues that we receive calls in regards to. So one of our big messages is call us first. A lot of our customers are not familiar with where the sewer problems lie in the system, and oftentimes if it's on our side of the system, we can come out and be able to triage that at no additional cost to the customer. Instead of, let's say they call a plumber immediately, then they have to incur that cost when it could be a cost that, or a service that we could provide at no charge to them.
So you're saying call first so that you're basically doing consumers a favor.
Correct. Yeah.
Right, to make sure that they're not.
It's two-pronged. It's really that, but then also the sooner that they call us, the quicker we can get to the issue and be able to resolve it, and then preventing overflows or issues going down into the other parts of the system.
Okay, so call first is the first theme.
Absolutely, yep, call first. You mentioned our characters. So as part of the source control issue that we see at the Sacramento Area Sewer District is proper disposal of certain household items. So in the kitchen area, it's proper disposal of fats, oils, and grease, or what we have endearingly called FOG. We also have the disposal of oils and then food scraps. And with the passage of SB 1383, some of the disposal methods changed. And so that is a really great opportunity for us to have the students help really reconvey that message of how to dispose of things, because it does matter. Not everything goes into the garbage anymore. Some goes into organics and some goes into the garbage.
So the garbage disposal is no longer very well loved.
It should never be loved.
Yeah.
It should
okay.
not.
So whoever out there is using their garbage disposal, just stop.
Please stop, yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So they put it in the trash or put it in the recycles. And we used to just take hot water and some soap and put your oil down the pipes, and the answer is don't
do it.
Okay,
Don't
so
do
that's fats, oils, and grease, FOG. Okay,
FOG,
and what other things are you telling us not to put down there?
In stepping outside of the kitchen, going into the restroom, it's a lot of the flushable wipes that we have issues with, and what happens is the labeling will say flushable. However, they don't break down like toilet paper, and so when those get flushed into our system, they create what we call rags. And at our pump stations, they rag up and cause major blockages at our pump stations, which then cause for costly repairs and maintenance from our crews, and then the potential for overflows as well. So the big thing is, there is this labeling. Everybody claims things are flushable, but we have a saying: trash the wipes, not the pipes.
Trash the wipes, not the pipes.
That's
and
right.
That one seems to be pretty popular with the kids to
Yeah.
do PSAs on. And so, and then roaches, of course.
And then we have cockroaches, yes.
So do the kids, Brad and Brooke, do they like the cockroach one?
Yeah, so the cockroach one is a new one that was introduced a couple of years ago, our second year, I think, doing it. And I wasn't sure how well it was going to go over, but the students really like it, and they've come up with some really clever and creative ways to present cockroaches as a problem running around without using real cockroaches.
Right, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
My favorite is with the little fishing line, and you see them like pulling across, but it gives a good animation or live action element to it, so you think that they're actually real.
That's great. But then there's a couple that I don't think the kids took advantage of, like you have don't flush your meds,
yes.
right?
Yes.
No, please don't flush your meds, anybody.
Yes.
And then there's the one that I think is most interesting. You have some amazing careers in your organization, right? So if you're an environmentalist or an engineer or administrative or accounting, you're a serious corporation with a lot of employees. About how many employees do you have, do you think?
Just under 800.
800 people. And so although it's not going to get any airplay on Access Sacramento, because the kids didn't embrace that as a PSA, if somebody's looking for a job, you might want to check out SacSewer.com.
/careers.
/careers.
Yeah.
Okay. So So that's sort of the breadth of the PSA contest themes. And so let's talk to Brad and Brooke about how do you facilitate such an important, like let me rephrase this. We're not the only ones with a contest out there. There are a bunch of contests. So how is it that you're able to incorporate us in your curriculum, or maybe we're not part of your curriculum and you're just giving this the opportunity after school? So tell, Brad, if you could start talking to us about how you got this, convincing kids to do this.
Well, I've always found that students make their best work when they know they're going to have an audience for it. It's not just going to be something that's shown in the classroom and seen once. And so that's how we kind of got the start for this particular contest, was the idea of could this actually, could we create something for Access Sacramento? And we've been doing this now for a dozen years, and it is definitely an important part of my curriculum. So every teacher has a public service announcement unit, and so it's a pretty standard assignment. And so what we wanted to do is actually connect students to, to contests, and fortunately in our area there's a few of them. So another one is Directing Change, which is a suicide prevention mental health one, and so that one is, I think, is a really important one for students. And we've had in the past a water conservation one and things like that. So the one that we're working, the one that we have now, the other one is Sac Breathe, an anti-tobacco contest. So
I spoke with the executive director. I was like, "You're doing it at the same time as us," but I'd like to air those whenever they're done.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, because we want to start these contests in mid-August, at the beginning of the school year. It gives teachers a wide latitude to come around to this, February, March, to be able to get these things finished, because for beginning students, you want to have them have a number of assignments before you get to this one.
Right.
And then for me, the way I do it is I have this as an individual project. They go out with their cell phones and they shoot it for my introductory class, and use their own equipment, and then come back and edit it. So I think that's another important part of this, is getting them to use what they have. For my intermediate students, we do have nice cameras, and so they do use those. But
do they work individually even as an intermediate student, or do they work in teams?
Yeah, and so that's the great thing about a PSA. It's short. It's 30 seconds long, and you've got to be able to get that message out effectively in 30 seconds. And so we really use this as an excuse to have them individually work through the whole production process. So they read what the client is asking, and these contests are the client. Yeah. So they've got to say, okay, what is it that the client really wants? And then select one of those, and then come up with a proposal for that. They write it all up, and then they develop a script that is going to be for 30 seconds, about 80 words long, and then they're going to storyboard it, do a shot list, and then go out and shoot it and edit it. So they got the whole process. And then for my intermediate classes, I have them do a budget for what it would actually make if they were making this for money. So they go through the whole production process, and they have to do it themselves. So they really demonstrate that they can do it.
So timing is also, everyone has a great idea and can handle pre-production, but getting it to post-production is always the hard part, right? So I'm glad that you having them do that whole process, including the budgeting. Yeah. That's a good idea. So it's been successful year over year, or do you have a lot of kids who never make it to the finish line?
Oh, it's a grade, so they have an incentive to make it through the finish line, because it's going to be a lot of points missing if they don't do it. So yeah, no, that we consistently have students finishing the project. Some are more successful than others, as you'd expect. So not every kid is required to turn in their submission. That's up to them.
And it has to be accurate for the customer. So if they don't put accurate information, obviously it's going to be judged poorly, right?
Right, that's the great part of it, is that they know that there's going to be somebody other than me that's going to be looking at their project and evaluating it And if they come out at the right end of this, they're gonna come back with some money. And so that's a nice thing about this, is that after going through what is a very professional process, they have the potential to actually get paid for it in a way.
That's actually really important. So the way we loop in, besides being a distribution, local distribution network for the PSAs, obviously you want the information out there. You're trying to train people how to use, manipulate media. We seriously want to make sure that we're all about our media mission. We're a nonprofit, and one of the things we want is to make sure that we're teaching people to fish, not fishing for them, right? So it's a classic hands-on experience. So we love that you're doing this. I want to loop Brooke in here. So you obviously have many hats in your so your school system is smaller than. I guess Franklin is part of the Elk Grove one, massive school system, and Galt has got the tiny. So is it like a one-room schoolhouse in your class if you're doing IT and video and?
A little bit. We have 35 people in the class, but they're all doing different coursework. So our digital video production students, we have 10 core ones in that class this year. And they tend to come back year after year and continue and push themselves to new extremes to learn more and more. We also have student managers. So the student you'll see later this evening is our student manager that came back and has entered your contest.
Oh, and I really appreciate that. And you had told me a story about how she got involved. You want to share a little about that?
She actually got involved when it was the pandemic, and her older brother was in my class, but he doesn't have great use of his arms, but his mind is there. He makes all the decisions in the videos, but it was the pandemic, so he needed somebody to physically do things on the computer for him and work a camera. So he was having his little sister, as an 8th grader, do all these things for him. And she got into it, and then when she came to high school, she was like, I'm taking this class, and she's taken it all 4 years. And now she's going to be studying video production in college.
That's great. And the incentive, Paige is able to pay her an award for the project. So I'm very inspired.
The other students are inspired seeing
Her
how
get
she
money.
stuck with it and she got money. They're like, I'm going to work hard on my assignments.
Good. Oh, I like that. We love money is a great incentive, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to work, like we always have high school and college summer interns, we don't pay them anything. We're basically giving them, I'm an internal customer, we're giving you an opportunity to work for a customer so that you end up having portfolio pieces. So anybody out there who wants to participate, you can get in touch with us. But I'm a difficult internal customer because I have a high quality standard. So we want to make sure that kids are really going to be able to go into the real world, right? So anything else you want to, we have very little time left. What we want to do is probably go to give the awards to the kids. So Paige, if I could get you to participate in that. And I want to thank Brooke and Brad for coming and talking with us. All right.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
I don't remember how it started. our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Welcome back to our high school PSA competition. My name is JD Williams and I'm going to be the co-host for this evening. So tonight we're going to be handing out awards, giving the students their achievements and kind of highlighting all of their hard work. But first, before we do that, I have with me Paige Pettigrew. Welcome back, Paige. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this competition, how it started, that kind of thing, how long
Yeah.
you've been here.
So, as we mentioned earlier, this is a really great and unique partnership that we have with Access Sacramento and the service area that we provide our services to. So throughout the Sacramento region, students have an opportunity to submit PSAs for a variety of different topics. Those can change year over year, but generally speaking, some key topics in terms of stop the clog, no wipes in the pipes, about who we are and what we do. Awesome. And they've got this time limit to be able to use their creativity to hit in 2 different categories that we've outlined.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So tell us, what can we expect from the PSAs tonight?
Well, I will tell you that they are extremely creative,
Awesome.
entertaining.
Yay.
The artwork in the animated versions are fantastic, something I could never aspire to do myself.
No, me either.
Yeah, that's just not my forte. And then in the live action, there's some great acting and really key messages that are delivered throughout each of them.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so excited. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So we have our first category, which is going to be animation, and we have Fog Clog by Daniel Munoz. Let's take a look.
Fog, or fats, oils, and grease, can make its way in your sink, letting it to clog, spew out gunk, or causing it to overflow. Pretty terrible, right? Well, here's how to prevent it. First, when you're done eating, let the finished food scraps cool off. Once hardened, dispose of it by putting it in a can. Then finally, putting it in the garbage. Treat sinks like our friends, not toxic. Learn more at SacSewer.com. Fog.
Wow, I really loved your PSA. Congratulations, Daniel. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great to be here.
Yeah, that's so incredible. So tell me a little bit about your PSA. How did you think of this idea?
Well, for the SacSewer, there were a lot of ideas, but this one seems the most creative.
Sorry.
Like, it seems the most, like, I know people probably have way more better ideas, but this one seemed more natural because, I mean, fog is, like, acronymed as FOG, which is, like, another form of fog, which is a messy thing on itself. Like, it always gets on glass, and it's really messy. And it's also, like, actual fog, which gets in your drains and leaves a real big mess, and it's just not really great for you.
That's so true. This is such an important issue that a lot of people don't know about. So do you have plans to go into animation in the future? Do you do this in your free time?
Exactly. I plan to go and explore animation, and I'm so honored that I am not only being seen, but judged by my criteria, and it's just so so inspirational that I am here on live TV. It's a real handful.
Well, congratulations again, Daniel. Like, we're so happy for you, and we hope you do great things. Here's your award.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And this is your reward there.
Thank you so much.
And have a wonderful evening, Daniel.
Thank you.
So next up, we have our second place winner in the PSA animation category, The Biggest Threats Against Your Pipe by Emily Ann Sheldon. Let's take a look.
Fats, oils, and grease are some of the biggest threats against your pipe. When they go down the pipe, they create clogs, which cause more than half of SacSewer's backups and overflows. Cooking oil is one of the most common oils that is poured down the drain. Instead, after you're done cooking and oil has cooled, dump it into a container. After it hardens, either throw away the entire container or scrape and dump the oil in the trash. To learn more, go to SacSewer.com.
Wow, I really loved your animation. It was so incredible. How did you think of this idea?
Thank you. I thought of this idea from just looking on the website and seeing all the options, and fog really stuck out to me as one that I didn't really see as an issue before, but I wanted to learn more about.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of people don't know this sort of thing. Do you have plans to go into animation in the future?
I have plans to go into video production in the future.
Awesome. What specifically in video production?
I'd like to be a production assistant in the future in film and TV.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, if you get started at Access Sacramento, like we have great programs like that. You can check out equipment. We're known for like helping young students, so absolutely consider that. So congratulations again. Here's your award.
Yes, thank you. And I actually had a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you learned about fats, oils, and grease and the proper disposal, was that something you knew ahead of time, or was that kind of like eye-opening for you?
I knew that once I read it, like that was a problem, but it wasn't really something that I ever thought of before I made this video.
Yeah, and so did you share the message with everybody you knew?
Yes,
Excellent
everybody
work.
gets to watch the video.
And you're from Galt High School, right?
Yes.
How is the program there? Do you love it?
I love the program at Galt High School. We have a great studio and a good teacher that helps us make our videos and gives us the creativity that we need to make great videos.
That's so awesome. That must be so inspiring. We're so happy for you.
Thank you.
So this donation, are you so excited about it? What are you going to use the money for? That kind of thing.
I think I'm going to use the money for college next year.
That's an incredible idea. Yeah, we absolutely recommend that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yep, thank you
Congratulations
guys.
again.
Congratulations.
Yeah, of course. So next up, we have Lou and Mags by Ann T. Lee. Let's take a look.
Roach infestation? Roaches are attracted to dark and damp places, such as sewers and storm drains.
How did you get in?
Check and seal any cracks or crevices around your home. Daily cleaning and closing outdoor trash cans removes potential food, water, and shelter sources that attract roaches.
What's next?
Depends. Call Pest Control for private property, local stormwater utility for storm drains, and SacSewer for manholes. Learn more at SacSewer.com.
Congratulations, Ann T. How are you feeling?
Very nervous.
Very nervous, definitely. Yeah, this is live television, so of course I'm a little nervous too, personally. So tell me a little bit about the process. Did you do all of this by yourself? Was it a group effort?
I did all of this by myself.
Okay.
With some more support from my friends and family.
Nice, nice. So are you planning on going into animation in the future?
Maybe. The industry's kind of on fire right now, but I do plan on doing some animation in my free time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really cool. This project was incredible. I really loved all of the color in your animation specifically. And congrats on first place. That's so exciting. What are you going to do with the money?
I might save it up.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Something, maybe a new laptop or for college.
Yeah, absolutely. Either one is a great idea. Congratulations again. Here's your award.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you for that. And next up, we have our live action category. So we have in third place, Spiro Advis. Let's take a look.
When using wipes to clean your counter, you would think to flush them down the toilet. But disposing these wipes can be a lethal factor to clogging the pipes. While these wipes are supposed to be flushable and friendly to pipes, compared to toilet paper, these do not break down. This can cause backups in the sewers that can be a costly fee to get rid of. So next time, make sure to trash the wipes, not the pipes. Learn more at SacSewer.com.
Congratulations, Spiro.
Thank you.
So you did this with your partner, but unfortunately he couldn't be here tonight, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the group effort. How did you guys split up the work?
He came up with the idea, and then I took my cameras and I filmed it, and then we both edited it together.
Okay, awesome. So you were the videographer, but then both of you guys were the editor.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you guys worked together before?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys friends?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool. Do you guys plan on working together in the future?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. So are you guys hoping to go into video making in the future as well?
I'm not sure yet.
You're not sure yet? Okay.
And my friend, I'm not sure either.
Nice. And you're from Christian Brothers High School, right? How was the program there?
I love it.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. So you think you're going to work together again in the future, but you're not sure yet.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. We definitely recommend it. We love film students, we love videographers, that kind of thing. So if you're interested, you should definitely check out Access Sacramento. And congratulations again. Here's your award.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Have an excellent night. We're so happy for you, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So next up, we have our second place winner in the live action category. That's going to be Cockroach Encounter by Diari Poncho. Let's take a look.
Is that a cockroach? Gross. If only I could keep them away.
Luckily, there are plenty of ways to stop them. Get rid of all food and water. Seal all cracks and crevices, and throw out all trash and ensure lids are tightly closed. Who do you call if you see cockroaches around your property? Call a pest control company. Around storm drains, call your local stormwater utility. Around manholes, call SacSewer and pest control treatment will be scheduled if bugs are confirmed. For more information, visit SacSewer.com.
Congratulations, Diari.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you choose this topic? I feel like a lot of people would shy away from like the cockroaches topic.
Well, it's like, at my house, there's like a lot. There were a lot of cockroaches, so I just wanted to like let people know how to get rid of them.
Oh, okay, so this comes from like personal experience. That's really cool. That's really cool. So when you were choosing this topic, was it a long process to film? Was it to edit? Like all of that?
The editing part was easy. It was just the filming part because we had a trip, so I had to find all the places to film while on the trip.
Oh, okay, so you did this while you were on the go. Oh, that's really interesting. And did you do this by yourself, or was it like a group effort kind of thing?
I had my friend record some of it, but mostly it was just me.
Oh, okay, well, I'm glad that you had a little bit of help. We really loved your not animation, we really loved your PSA. So do you plan on going into video making in the future?
I'm not sure yet.
You're not sure yet? Okay, well, absolutely no worries. Congratulations again on second place. We're so happy for you.
Thank you.
And we hope you have an incredible rest of your night. Here's your award.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so, last but certainly not least, we have first place, A Chat with Your Toilet by Alyssa Abbott and Lillian Yeager. Let's take a look.
Hey, it's your toilet here. We need to talk. Lately, you've been treating me like a trash can, and it's getting out of hand. All of those wipes and towels clog my pipes and ruin the sewer system. I don't want to be that toilet that screws with the sewers. People talk. All I ask is that you don't put your wipes in my pipes. All better. Learn more at SacSewer.com to keep your toilet happy.
Congratulations to you both. First place. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much.
We love to see young women in film. Do you guys have plans to go into film in the future?
Oh, we'll definitely keep doing it for Christian Brothers for the rest of our high school career.
Yeah, that's really cool. So tell me a little bit about this. How did you guys split up the work? It was a group effort, of course.
I filmed it at home, and then she did the voiceover, and we kind of edited it together.
Okay, so how did you guys think about this idea?
We kind of wanted to do something that was like a little bit different, and we thought it'd be cool if like the toilet was telling you why you didn't want to do flushable wipes, kind of make it more relatable.
And I feel like that kind of catches like someone's attention because it's like a toilet talking.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So.
Yeah, yours is super funny, super fun to watch. I really loved it. So did you have any other questions?
Yeah, I was just curious in terms of the topic that you guys picked. Did you know that flushable wipes could not be flushed before doing it?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't until like Mr. Hogan told us
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my family was really surprised because I told them about the PSA and they were like, you can't flush flushable wipes? Yeah. It was surprising. Well, good. I'm glad that we were able to share some awareness with some people as well.
Yeah, personally, I didn't know that until this year as well. When I was doing research for this competition, I was like, wait, you can't flush wipes? That's definitely something that people should know. So we're glad that you guys made a PSA about this. This was, honestly, it's such a great PSA. We're so happy for you guys, first place. Tell us a little bit about what you might do with the money. How are you guys going to split it up? That kind of thing.
I think we're splitting it half and half.
Of
so
course.
I'm probably just gonna like save it.
Yeah,
for
same.
later things. I don't know.
Okay, like college, that kind of thing?
Yeah, in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said you might want to do it for Christian Brothers in the future, kind of more videography, that kind of thing.
We have like a news channel called KBFT.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So we're gonna go. We have to do video production like this year, and then next year we can go to like the news stuff. So yeah, that's probably what we're both gonna do.
Oh, okay, so you're also part of the news.
Yeah, I'll probably continue like journalism and writing for publication, and we enjoy like filming different like news stories, so we'll continue that for sure.
Awesome. What kind of news stories do you guys do?
Mostly local news or stuff going around at school.
So is it a little bit like a podcast?
We live stream twice a week.
Live
News.
stream?
Yeah, we have a studio and everything. So
Wow, that's so cool. That's so impressive. Oh my goodness. And what grade are you guys in?
We're both sophomores.
Yeah, we're both sophomores.
Wow, so sophomores having a live show, that's incredibly
Fantastic,
impressive. Wow,
yeah.
awesome. So congratulations again. We're so happy for you guys. Here's your awards.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Oh.
All right, so that's going to wrap up our PSA competition. Congratulations to you guys again for first place. And after this break, we're going to get right back into it with Donna and her guests. Thank you.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
So thank you for staying with us. We love the kids and all their creativity. We love the fact that Paige and her team at SacSewer are willing to sponsor generous awards. I got to tell you, Paige, they have way more self-restraint than I do.
I know.
If I were going to win a nice, I would be like, I'm buying something. You know?
I know. I would also do the same thing.
Right. They're like, I'm going to save it. I'm like, really? I would be out there spending it on electronics of some sort because I'm a gearhead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But the variety was cool.
Yeah.
Now, I did want to mention to you and the viewers that we take your public, PSAs and we air them at our most popular shows. Game of the Week is hugely popular during football season and basketball season. And we can track, we can't track cable television household views, but we can track how many people are on their mobile phone. And last year alone, we had 700,599 views.
Specifically.
Yes, very specific. And that's just on your mobile phone.
Fascinating. That's great.
So we also air on 2 channels on local cable television. We also air on OTTs, which are called over-the-tops, which are Roku and Apple TV. Yeah. And we also air on NFHS Network, which is actually a paying network of high school sports. And that we usually have like 7,000 views just for...
That's fantastic.
Yeah, just for our sports show. So people outside of Sacramento are also finding out not to flush their wipes.
You know what? I will take it. I think it's a wonderful message that everybody should know, and I'm sure their, sewer utilities will appreciate the message and understanding from their customers as well. It's a common one.
So your organization, let me just backpedal for
Yeah.
a second. So in my youth, I used to shoot government meetings. So I understood after years how important the sewage facilities are.
Yeah.
So let's say Rancho is like, anytime you read in an article like 60 new units or 100 new units, or they're developing Natomas, or hey, downtown rail yard, we're developing it. All of that translates to, do we have enough sewer facilities? Do we have enough services? Can we support as an infrastructure? So I'd love for us to better understand the Sac Area Sewer District. Are you completely Sac County? Are you part, like, what's your area?
It's a great question. Are you ready for the long explanation?
I'll take it. I'll take it. 'Cause this is complicated.
It is. We serve 1.6 million people throughout the Sacramento region. So what that encompasses is unincorporated Sacramento County. It includes the cities of, I'm going to try and do these in alphabetical order so I can make sure I remember all of them: Citrus Heights,
Okay.
Folsom, Rancho Cordova, Sacramento, and West Sacramento.
High population areas.
And some small communities as well, but yeah, those are our main service area touch
But
points.
not Galt, so not where Brooke was living. Or
Right, yeah. So we have all the way up into Folsom, and then all the way down into West Sacramento. Elk Grove obviously is part of our service area as well. So the Galt area is also part of that bubble in terms of the locations in that proximity.
So when you have close to 800 employees, you can see, I mean, that's a huge amount of pipes.
Yeah.
How many water treatment facilities are there in that whole area?
Yeah, so within our sewage collection system, we have just around 5,000 miles of pipe in the ground.
Wow.
And that's just collection. So think of that as you flush your toilet, wash your dishes, it goes into the small pipes. And then all of the sewage that comes from our customers goes to our Echo Water facility in near Elk Grove, and there is one, and it is the second largest treatment facility, water resource recovery facility of its kind in the nation. So it's a pretty big one.
Okay, so let me slow that down. You say near Elk Grove. So is it in the city of Elk Grove?
Just right outside, unincorporated Sac County.
It's unincorporated Sacramento?
Yep.
And so I immediately think, yikes, is it protected? I would hate somebody to blow it up, or I'm worried about water. I'm worried about the threats that water receives, whether it's drought and or mischief. So you have this huge facility.
Yes.
And all of our waste goes into that facility.
It does, yes.
And then it's treated. And then you have recyclable bio waste. Is it called bio waste?
There's a couple bios. So there's
there's
biogas and biosolids, yeah.
Okay.
So two different things. One is the methane from the treatment process, and then the biosolids are literally the solids that are left over after the treatment process that are then utilized for different resources.
So the professional side of me says ick, and the ecological side says, wow, this is super cool, right? So the biogas, so you do this treatment, you end up with methane? What do you end up with?
Correct, the gases, basically the gases from the treatment process.
And then what do you do with those? I know you partner with SMUD in some way.
Yes, and so then we're also powering through the gases to do other sorts of resources as well. And there's tons of information on our website related to that. But on the biosolids, it's a really interesting process. We produce or process around 38,000 dry tons of biosolids a year, and we partner with a company called Synagro to produce, of that 38,000 tons, about 7,000 is used for fertilizer pellets. So then it's kind of a full circle of the materials back to be able to use for fertilization.
Okay, so it's like human waste becomes fertilizer.
Correct, yeah, but it's the nutrients from it.
Right,
yeah.
The good parts.
The good parts, exactly.
Right? But the water part ends up getting recirculated and cleaned and put into agriculture?
Yeah.
Or am I re-drinking that?
No, you're not drinking it.
Okay.
So for the Sacramento Area Sewer District, we actually have a project called the Harvest Water Project, and it is California's largest water recycling project right now, and it's currently under construction.
Okay, so you guys are super cool. Because if you have the second largest facility in the state and you...
Nation.
Oh, in the nation?
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Do we get to possibly do a tour?
Absolutely. We offer free public tours of the Echo Water facility. So they actually just started on Saturday.
Really?
And they do, or they did. And we offer them throughout the week. On weekends, just encourage those that are interested to go to our website, sign up. And then it's a good tour. It's a large facility, but you will see the ins and outs of how we basically take everything that is collected in our sewage collection system, treat it, and then put it back out to its proper spot.
Do you have any videos of that process?
We do.
I would love to air that on television.
Oh yeah,
Oops, I just hit my mic.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
We, yeah, two ways. So actually on our website, we offered just during the pandemic, because we had to close our facilities down to the public, we created what was called a virtual tour. And so on our website, you can really take a dynamic view of the actual facility itself, kind of use your mouse to scroll around, and then there are videos that play throughout each of the different locations to help you understand the different parts of the process.
And the place is called Echo
Water. The full name is the Echo Water Resource Recovery Facility, most commonly known as the Echo Water Facility.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I love the recovery.
Yes, it's a big
we
part of
need
what
all,
we do.
Right,
Yeah.
we need all the recovery we can get
Mhm.
so that we can make sure water is happening in California.
Yeah.
I was on your site, and I'm all about sustainability because I can't help it, right? My last station was in Vermont, and we're all about ecology, and I know that's an old-fashioned word, but I saw that you had events, Birds and Blooms Walk, a Walk on the Wild Side, Bufferlands Open Trail Day,
Yeah.
and Twilight at the Bufferland. So I could just, I don't know where that is, but I could sign up. And so we have a lot of bufferlands.
We do.
Why do we have a lot of bufferlands?
So the Bufferlands is actually a 2,100 acre buffer, and hence the name Bufferlands, that basically buffers our facility, the Echo Water facility, from the surrounding communities.
Cool.
And so it allows for a humongous array of flora and fauna to live and thrive there, but we also offer a variety of tours out there, separate from the Echo Water facility tours, but there's tours, activities. Walk on the Wild Side, as you mentioned, is next month. It's a really, really popular event. Great opportunity just to kind of get experience out on the Bufferlands, engage with some animals that are there, learn a lot of different things, and it's really, really fun. But all of those events are on our website, so you can go on there and see what we've got coming up, sign up. Space sometimes is limited just based off of what it is, so we encourage people to just go there and reach out to sign up for those.
And does it cost money to go on?
No.
So that sounds like an interesting first date.
Yep.
So
you know what that would be.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because you have your vernal
Mhm.
pools. Actually, probably this is a season with all those frogs, and you have your wetlands, and you have your, do we call it riparian
Yep.
areas? I'm not
Mhm.
real good at the
No,
at the
you're doing great.
vocabulary.
You're doing great.
Thank you for your patience. Which, of course, is sort of the edges of lakes and
Mhm.
edges of
Mhm.
rivers.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize you guys, so the buffer exists just to keep humans away. Like, do you guys release, does it ever get, I know in California there's not as much flooding
Mhm.
as other areas of the country. And it's always was an issue back east where they were worried about overflow, and sometimes they'd have to release not yet cleaned water into streams. Is that why you have that buffer?
The buffer is really for us just to be good neighbors to the community. Sometimes it's a sewage treatment facility, so sometimes it may not have the odors that
Stinky.
are necessarily desirable, and so that helps
Got
keep it in there. But then to your point in terms of capacity being beyond where we have what are called emergency storage basins for those.
Oh, you do have
Yeah.
emergency storage. Oh, that makes me feel better, because
Yeah.
it would always be a tragic thing when they had to release
Sure.
partially cleaned water into the natural habitat.
Yeah.
So everybody gets sad. So 8,500 dry tons of biosolid recycled.
Yes, yes.
I mean, do you ever have so much, like the agriculture can't, is it something you can send out of state, or like
What do you do with it?
What do you do with it if you
Yeah.
have too much? Do you burn it?
So we're actually working through that right now, and part of what we're doing, as I mentioned, is turning it into the fertilizer. But a good chunk of that, about 75% of the biosolids that we have are, it's called injected into land-dedicated sites on our facility itself. And so it gets injected into the ground there, stays there for years on end, and then it's churned over and reutilized.
So it's not a brown site then? In other words, a brown site meaning it's toxic, or is it considered?
They're lined so that it doesn't continue down. So
Okay.
yeah.
But it's a potential, if we overpopulate, it's a potential issue where you might not have enough room to store that?
There's other alternative solutions that we can utilize in terms of storage. Fortunately, we've been able to address it to a degree that takes care of the demand or the output that we have as of right now.
I like how you call it output. So you have 1.6 million people
Yes.
who are flushing 1.6 million times at least
right.
a day,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it's, that's a lot.
People are active, yes. Yeah, yeah. So we
People are
operate
active.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because everybody operates on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we are
Absolutely.
always there. And again, on the sewage collection side versus the treatment and resource recovery, there's operators at the Echo Water facility operating our plant, and out in the sewage system on the collection side, we have field crew that are out there doing the maintenance and operations needed to keep the system in ship-shop tape.
So what are the kind of threats that your organization has? Obviously, like, are we planning ahead? Do we have enough room for this bio-waste? But is it like, if there's not enough water, doesn't the whole system, crack under the pressure, so to speak?
I think that probably won't be an issue. People will still be flushing, and there will always be a flow in the pipe in terms of activity from one source or another.
Oh, okay. So literally we consume water, we pee it out, and it ends up in the...
It'll come to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're
Yeah.
so discreet about it. You're a pro.
Oh,
You're
well.
like, it comes to us one way or another.
It does, inevitably. Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering what kind of... when I started wanting to talk about water issues, it was exactly when the fires were down south, and the Department of Water, nobody wanted to talk to me, right?
Okay.
All the government, it became politicized, right? And I understand. It's politicized, it's a hot topic, we won't talk about it right now, but the sewage part of it affects us so dramatically.
Very much so.
So it's so important that we don't put our drugs or our wipes, or I imagine you put your wipe in the garbage can.
Yes.
You put your gristle from your steak in the garbage can or in the recycled bin that you should have on your counter.
Right. So it's for fats, oils, and grease. That's where that Senate Bill S1383 comes into play, and it changed a little bit of the disposal methods. So we call it fats, oils, and grease. So if you've got hot oils from, let's say you make French fries and you're done with the oil, pour that into a container, let it cool, of course, and then throw that into the garbage. Whereas if you have food scraps left over, steak bites or chicken, or your kids are picky and they don't eat it, speaking for myself, those
You have
go.
kids who are picky?
I have kids that have preferences, and those change daily. So what worked one night may not work the next. When we have food scraps, those go into your organics cart. So a little bit different just in terms of whatever the material is. Not all of it goes there, but definitely not down the drain. That's the big no-no.
When you say organics cart, in theory, we should all have something, some bin, and then we should put it in our yard waste.
The green waste bin.
The green waste
Yeah,
bin.
if it's still green for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's green.
Yeah.
Blue, green, tan. Yeah,
Yep.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So some goes in the garbage, some goes in the green waste organics cart. Yeah.
And we could handle that because we really don't want to pay extra money to employ rush scenarios for SacSewer.
Right. And not so much SacSewer, but what we see is, especially around the holidays, when you're cooking and you've got a lot of people and things are kind of just a little more hectic in the kitchen, that can tend to lead to blockages. And so those blockages could happen not too far down on your side of the system, or it could travel down into the SacSewer side. So knowing where your line, in terms of your ownership of your property line and your pipes starts and ends, and where SacSewer SacSewer starts and ends is helpful. But if people are experiencing issues, what we always encourage them is if they're a SacSewer customer to call us first, because you pay a rate to us. Part of that rate is a service for us to come out within a commitment of our goal is to be there within 2 hours to take a look at the issue and figure out if it's on our side of the line or if it's on your side, and then either address it if it's on our side or provide recommendations on what the customer can do, perhaps call a plumber. But rather than starting with the plumber, this allows them to at least have that side of their line inspected first. And not
Okay,
have
so
to
call you first. And the number they would call is
875
6730. 6730.
Yes.
So let's repeat it again. People should be writing this down because
it's a good one to have. It's 916-875-6730.
And that's, you get a clog, you call them first, and it's extraordinary. 2 hours is extraordinary turnaround.
Yeah. I mean, it's a predicament to be in, and you don't really want to be without your abilities to wash dishes, flush your toilet, do laundry, and so we understand that, and we want to make sure that we get there as quick as possible.
But that is extraordinary service.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm fangirling.
That's okay.
Because I believe that SacSewer is one of the most important jobs in our county.
Well, thank you.
So worth profiling. So we only have 30 seconds to go.
Okay.
So is there anything else you want to tell the community?
No, I think, again, I think it's just the proper disposal of these methods, knowing who we are and what we do. We are, very proud of the services we provide and the exceptional customer service that we do also do our share for our customers, and encourage people to find us at community outreach events, visit us at the Echo Water facility for our public tours, come out to our Bufferlands events, walk on the wild side in May, just a little plug there, are all great things, and you can go to SacSewer.com.
All right, that's great. And thank you so much for supporting the Confluence Grant.
Our pleasure.
Because we're all about media education, and we love that you're supporting that as well.
Yes, it's a wonderful, anytime we have an opportunity to create a sewer steward, we're there for it.
Okay, so what I want to do is mention that a place called Sacramento Cast and Crew Call. So if you want to help make a film this summer, a short film, we're going to select 9 films this month, and then on May 3rd, which is a Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m., come to the lawn at the Coloma Community Center on T Street in Sacramento, and you too might be a cast member or a crew member to help make a film. It's great fun. It's a community. Everyone volunteers. It's a community event. We love sponsoring it. And I guess it's time to wrap up. So come to the Cast and Crew Call, a place called Sacramento.
Roach infestation? Roaches are attracted to dark and damp places, such as sewers and storm drains.
How did you get in?
Check and seal any cracks or crevices around your home. Daily cleaning and closing outdoor trash cans removes potential food, water, and shelter sources that attract roaches.
What's